Hi, I'm Rivki with Lev Haolam, and I am standing in Jerusalem in front of part of the Jerusalem skyline, this windmill. What is a windmill doing in the center of Jerusalem? Well, it's a beautiful old building, but I know there's more story to it. So I invited Luzi.
The situation in Yerushalayim is very, very bad. And being outside of Yerushalayim at night is a very dangerous thing. First time in history, Moshe Montefiore builds a new neighborhood for the people of Yerushalayim outside the walls of the old city. Okay, I built it to help of the people of Yerushalayim, and Moshe Montefiore offers the people of Yerushalayim to come and live here for free. And at this point, the people of Yerushalayim still say no, thank you. By the way, you know how much apartment cost in Yamin Moshe Mishkenot Sha'ananim today? No, it costs millions. Hi, Rivki. So glad to be here again.
He is a good friend of Lev Haolam, and he's also an incredible tour guide, Luzi. And I don't understand, honestly, why there is a windmill in the middle of Jerusalem. I know it's related to a man called
Moshe Montefiore.
Who he was and why he had such a profound impact on the Jewish homeland, so much so that I see his name everywhere in Jerusalem. So I know that you can help us with that.
Yeah, so basically, right, as you said, we're now standing in the center of Jerusalem. The city is all around us. But if you would come here 150 years ago and Moshe Montefiore builds this windmill, this is out in the wild. The city of Yerushalayim is down in the walls of the old city on the next hill. And this is outside and Moshe Montefiore. And this is one of the things that Moshe Montefiore does. Moshe Montefiore, by the way, is considered by the Jewish people of his time as the protector of the Jewish people and sometimes the redeemer of the Jewish people.
Sir Moses Montefiore was born in 1784 in Italy to a family of merchants. When he was still a child, his family moved to London, the heart of the British Empire. He grew up surrounded by trade and opportunity, but also by stories of faith and perseverance. Ambitious and curious, as a young man, Moses joined the London Stock Exchange, a world of risk, success, and sudden collapse.
He makes his way up, he works in the Stock Exchange of London, and at some point he loses all his money and all in his investors' money, and he loses his license to work in the Stock Exchange. But he works his way up from the ground again, working again and recreating his position and getting the money back and paying back all his debts. And at some point when he's only in the age of 40, he's so successful that he decides to finish this period in his life and start working just as to help the Jewish people all around the world. Decides to do a journey with his wife Yehudit around Israel, and they go around, they research what the people of Israel are going through, and what he decides, he's not a person of charity only and of helping and giving money. He wants to help people work, and he invests a lot in industry and in a lot of the first thing in Israel in the past 200 years start in his time, if it's the textile industry and if it's agriculture and if it's, of course, the windmill of Yerushalayim, because Moshe Montefiore is the first one in all history that builds a new neighborhood of Yerushalayim outside the walls of the old city and brings the people of Yerushalayim to expand the city. But when he builds it, he doesn't only build it for the poor people of Yerushalayim to live here, he also builds the most, I would call it, like cutting edge technology of the time, maybe the high-tech company of his time, which is this windmill here.
The Montefiore windmill isn't just a landmark. It's a symbol of vision and courage. Built in 1857 on a hillside facing the walls of Jerusalem, it was Sir Moses Montefiore's bold attempt to bring progress to the Holy Land, to help Jewish families earn their living with dignity. The mill was designed in England by the Holman brothers, expert millwrights from Kent. Its massive stones were quarried right here in Jerusalem, but its iron machinery was shipped all the way from Britain to the port of Jaffa and then carried to the city by camel. Montefiore paid for the project using a bequest from Judah Turo, an American Jew who shared his dream of a self-sustaining Jewish homeland. Together, they built not just a mill, but the foundation of Mishkenot Sha'ananim, the first neighborhood outside the old city walls. The windmill stood 50 feet high, its sails turning in the dry Jerusalem wind, grinding flour for local families and offering steady work for new settlers. Though the wind was often too weak for milling, its message was strong, that the Jewish people could and would thrive again on their own land. Over the years, the mill survived wars, neglect, and even an attempt by the British to blow it up in 1948, an order quietly ignored by the soldiers from Montefiore's own hometown in England. Restored in 2012 using the original 1850s plans, the Montefiore windmill turns once again, not for profit, but as a living monument to faith, hard work, and hope. So at Lev Haolam, we feel like we're continuing this story because we are opening the land of Israel to you with every surprise box that we ship from Israel to you, to our members. You are really becoming part of our story. You are supporting small family businesses, artists, artisans, farmers, the city of Jerusalem. Imagine opening a surprise box that's filled with this, with the spirit and the soul and the stories of the holy city of Jerusalem. If you, like me and us at Lev Haolam, are as inspired by Jerusalem as your heart could hold, then click the link in the comments, check out how to become a member of Lev Haolam and become part of our living story of Jerusalem.
A lot of what we see around us today in Yerushalayim, 5 neighborhoods have his name because he helped building them in the center of Jerusalem. And a lot of that we see around us is thanks to Moshe Montefiore.
I want to say a special thanks to our tour guide Luzi for helping us learn more about Sir Moses Montefiore, and now I understand why I see his name all over Jerusalem. If you are as inspired as I am, drop a heart in the comments and let me know, especially if you'd like to go and explore some of those Montefiore neighborhoods in Jerusalem. I'm finishing our tour standing here in the windmill. And as you can see, as all things in Israel, this has evolved too. It's no longer making wheat, but rather it's a winery for the Jerusalem Vineyard Winery, which is really very cool. So I'm thrilled to have learned more. If you want to learn more about Lev Haolam, you'll see a link in the comments. Just click the link. You can find out how you can become a member of Lev Haolam and participate in writing the next chapter of Israel's story.